You're listening to Bizarre Buffet, a podcast of all-you-can-eat weird. I'm your host, Mark Torriello.
I'm Jen Wilson.
And I'm Mark Bluestein.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
When we first went in, one of the people said, "Who are you?" And Tex said, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
Hi, it's me, your grandmother.
And it's me, your grandmother's hearing aid.
Oh my God, I lost you for so long. I'm glad that I found you, though.
And
you
it's
found
me, the most youthful and beautiful grandchild
in the world.
That's also the black sheep.
Well, it's also, yeah.
And only just hangs around because he wants the inheritance.
Absolutely.
Yes.
When is she dying?
Yeah.
When is she dying? When is she... What are we doing tonight? We just had a visit from a psychic and Jason Voorhees.
We did. That was a really good episode. I'm going to keep saying that, Mark. That's probably one of the best ones I think you've done.
Yeah.
That means so much.
Like, I
don't wanna get
know.
I
messy.
really think so.
And I
Thank
literally
you.
was just saying to Jen that I was obsessed with the Silent Twins. I mean, it's like at this point, episode like 3 episodes ago, but it's like one of my favorites of Jen.
Yeah,
so we're just admiring each other
Well, I
tonight.
told you
Like a
that.
grand slam.
I think I told you both that Jerry and I went and saw The Silent Twins, the movie. We actually went to the
Oh.
theaters to see it.
Oh,
Yes.
it's in a theater?
Yeah.
I feel like it's too cool to be in the
No,
theater.
so it's in like a very indie theater that
Okay.
plays a lot of
'Cause
those
it's a Sundance
indie
film, right?
Yeah, it's very art housey, and
Cool.
I enjoy and love a great art house moment.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you enjoyed the same, The Silent Twins is great. The one thing I won't give too much away, it follows very much our podcast, the story.
Yes.
One thing I did appreciate is when they kind of would go into their own worlds with their writing and their stories.
Pepsi Cola addict.
Yes,
I'm
the
a Pepsi Cola addict. Love that.
It went into this really weird animation.
Really?
Yeah.
There's animation in it.
Yeah, anytime like it would go into them either like writing or telling their stories or reenacting their stories, it would go into animation. It was really cool.
That's fucking awesome. I
So,
can't wait to see it
You
because
should go see it.
we immediately watched
like the documentary about them.
my Missing My Shadow without my shadow. I'm
yeah.
sorry, which is on YouTube. You guys can find if you'd like.
It's funny that we bring up the movie The Silent Twins. Has nothing to do with movies, has nothing to do with twins. But my question tonight, actually, Mark Torriello, I think I know your answer to this. I don't know yours, Mark Bluestein. But have you ever taken an acting class before?
Yeah, I did. Just because of college, I didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, I remember you always tell me about going and taking acting classes.
Intro to acting and directing.
And how
Yeah.
was that? How was that experience?
I enjoyed it. I actually got something out of it. And also, the cool thing is that the professor that was teaching the class said, there's nothing wrong with being typecasted because it means you're going to have a steady paycheck.
It's true.
I love that.
It is
that
very
was really
true.
cool.
That's a great.
And I think a lot of times when you're in college, that can be really hurtful to hear, but in
Yeah.
reality, like it's actually good to be typecast, to have a specific look or to have a specific type of character that you play.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many famous, world famous actors who are. I mean, Winona Ryder is always Winona Ryder, right?
Like another person who I always say really made a name for herself based off of her looks is Chloe Sevigny.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
a million
She's
percent.
very, very talented, but also the fact that she like really made a name for herself based off of her looks.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was like the it girl of that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Gummo, great
We
film.
love that movie.
Oh, it's so good. It's very depressing. I will warn you guys ahead
That's
of
the
time.
one with the spaghetti in the bathtub, right?
Absolutely.
That weird scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I recreate that for Mark every so often, and I'll be sitting in our shower eating
It
spaghetti.
is on my list of movies to see.
I don't want to say you'd like it, but I want to
just
say
like
that you'd
really
appreciate it.
weird. I love a good weird out there movie.
Yeah.
Be
it is.
You have to be emotionally, mentally prepared.
You
for it.
do. You do. It's a little rough. There is some like violence towards animals. I think they don't really get like very graphic,
Yeah.
but like there's one scene. It's a little rough,
It's
but
bleak.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
But it's
a little bleak.
well done.
Yeah, it is.
Tastefully bleak.
Yeah, absolutely. Art house.
Yes,
Very
like
much
I
so.
said, I love a good art house moment.
Yeah, it's very much in that realm.
Mark, have you ever taken an acting class?
I've never taken an acting class, but I do recall something from my dissociated brain. There was some kind of like play done in a class where like we had these roles. I don't remember what it involved.
You know what? When we were in school, like I remember we read like The Crucible, Death of a Salesman, a bunch of Shakespeare plays. So I'm sure you were probably part of
Something like that.
reading like that in school or something, because I know at least I did, probably you, Mark.
Yeah.
And you have been exposed to some sort of plays in high school.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we know my answer because we know that theater is my life, that
Absolutely.
I've always been in acting classes and I love it.
Jen's fantastic. We saw her it was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Thank you.
And I was obsessed the whole time. Mark yelled out, "Yeah, Jen, well said."
Everyone turned around.
I appreciated you both being there.
Oh, we love to support you.
Oh, thank you. Of
course.
But tonight we are going to acting school.
Oh my God.
Before we take this class, okay, I would like to introduce to you the woman behind the class.
Oh, let's meet her. Who is she?
So her name is Sharon Gans.
Hey, girl.
She
Sharon.
is an American actress who is best known for her work in the 1972 film version of the novel Slaughterhouse-Five. I've never read the book. I've never seen the movie.
Slaughterhouse 5.
Is it Kurt Vonnegut?
Yes.
Okay.
Kurt Vonnegut.
Oh.
She also has acted, directed, and wrote various plays in and around the New York City area. But she was like kind of more like a D-list kind of actress. Like appeared in some things, but nothing that's like really memorable to us as people. I don't like think we as, you know, a society would be like, oh yeah, Sharon Gans, Slaughterhouse-Five.
Yeah.
You know?
Was she ever in anything that was more well known?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Although her work was located in New York, I need to actually take us across the country to San Francisco first.
Oh my God, all right.
Sharon and her husband Alex Horn ran a school called the Theater of All Possibilities in the late 70s.
Sounds culty.
Mark,
Sounds kind of cool.
shut your mouth. You're jumping the gun here.
I'm sorry. Oh my God, am I Jen Wilson?
You are Jen Wilson tonight.
Oh my God, I love it.
Thank you, Mark Bluestein. They were driven out of town after accusations from former students surfaced, stating that Sharon and her husband forced students to purchase tickets for their shows and by not doing so would end in physical abuse.
Oh.
Also arranged marriages and pregnancies.
For not buying tickets.
No, like those were other things. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
No, that's
Those
okay. I'm
are
being
other
silly.
things. So arranged marriages and like forced pregnancies were also a thing.
Wow.
So,
they don't
yes.
teach you that in acting school.
So yes, Mark, you were correct. Sharon Gans was in fact a cult leader.
Oh my God.
And using her acting school as a facade for her cult.
Oh, that's
Sharon.
Cool. I love that kind of shit.
I mean,
Reminds me of Suspiria.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I actually, you know what? I started rewatching that again, the remake, not too long ago.
like
And I couldn't
so
see it. It's
good.
so good.
It really is. And that Radiohead guy with the
Tom York.
Tom York, yes. Haunting.
Unpopular opinion. I like his solo work as opposed to Radiohead. You can all fight me on that.
Listen, I stand with you. I do. I'll stand on the side of the fence.
I've
I'm
had some heated debates over that one.
Oh, I'm sure people get very incensed over him.
Sharon and her husband packed up.
They do.
They do.
They do.
People who are like, they are nuts over that dude.
Sharon and her husband, they packed up. They went back to New York to their native hometown and opened the Odyssey Group in the early 80s.
Cool.
They have some good names. Good for them.
They followed a belief system called Fourth Way, which was based off the beliefs of these Russian philosophers who I've never heard of. George Gurdjieff
Okay.
and Peter Ospensky. I mean, has no relevance to like the whole story itself.
But these are just the
But
philosophers.
these are just the philosophers, believing that people live in waking sleep and that transcendence from this sleeping state requires a specific inner work, which is practiced in private, quiet conditions.
Okay.
This inner work will supposedly lead to otherwise inaccessible levels of awareness and or possibilities for personal development.
Wow.
I don't know what that means.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Essentially, I mean, from what I've gathered, it's kind of like, oh, wow, so you're asleep as a human, and we're going to teach you how to be aware. Awareness,
like
essentially.
aware of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, like become a more aware being.
You can go and do a deep dive on Fourth Way. I mean, I got bored after paragraph number 2.
It's just woo-woo.
Yeah, this is just so you kind of know what their belief system was, but this isn't really anything
Yeah, it's just
that we really need to know about here.
Yeah, it's just one aspect.
Exactly. Cult members referred to Sharon as S or our friend.
Oh, that's nice.
Hi, I'm our friend.
Well, I don't think she would come out and be like, I'm our friend. I think it was like we would be talking about her and be like, oh, are you waiting for our friend to come?
Oh my god.
Or I wonder what our friend is going to tell us today in class.
Oh my god, drinking the Kool-Aid.
Well, it reminds me of Heaven's Gate.
Yes, that's what I thought of.
Tea and dough.
Tea and dough.
Yes, you know what's
nicknames.
funny? When I actually thought about that when I found that the cult leaders referred to her as our friend, and as I was actually thinking back to Tea and Dough and the weird names that the Heaven's Gate cult members had.
Yeah. Just for everybody listening, I would like you all to know is that you can refer to me as our friend, but in, of course, the correct atmosphere.
Correct. When Mark is not in the room, you can refer to Mark as our friend.
Thank you, Jen. Yes, exactly.
Sharon was said to have targeted the wealthy for the cults, which is very interesting because a lot of times these cults always will target really vulnerable people who are in really vulnerable phases of their lives.
Yeah.
She would target the wealthy, and some of her students were heirs and heiresses of wealthy families, and some were high salary professionals. There was an account of a student who allegedly bragged about their $20,000 bonus, which Sharon made them sign it over to her on the spot.
Good for her.
Go, Sharon.
I like that she went after the rich.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Good for
I
her.
can stand on that side.
She can be my friend.
Yeah, she's our friend.
Yeah, she is our friend. She is our friend. The money from the students were actually used for Sharon and Alex to live a very lavish lifestyle, where they also purchased a penthouse at the Plaza Hotel.
See, I'm okay with that because she wasn't capitalizing off the poor or the regular people.
Yeah, exactly.
Go for it, Cher.
Over the years, she elevated a number of her most devoted followers to teachers. So you can refer back to the pyramid scheme episode. This kind of goes along the lines of how a pyramid scheme works and how you kind of rank up within the company. They would work their way up to become a teacher. These core teachers would run numerous classes and activities on her behalf in New York, and she actually also had a school in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh my God, connecting New England.
Exactly. She would direct her devoted followers by phone from her Manhattan apartment or one of her other residences. Over the course of a year, she would give class about 20 to 25 times for about 2 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
she wasn't really around much.
Yeah, she was busy being her friend.
At other times, though, like her core teachers would teach the classes.
On her
So she was
behalf.
like only working 50 hours a year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's iconic.
teach me your ways, Sharon.
I wonder how she dressed. Because I'm envisioning
You
like
can look her up.
I'm envisioning like fabulous
Chanel
cocaine-
blazer.
cocaine models of the 80s.
She wasn't a cocaine model, that's for sure.
I'm envisioning like shoulder pads and more shoulder pads.
I mean, that's what I want for her, but I have a feeling, according to Jen, that that's not the case.
like a leather mini skirt. You
No,
know?
you're not getting that with Sharon.
Damn. I'm just like whole like I'm like envisioning like a new wave goddess.
we want
basically.
a certain
You
vision
want a
for
certain
Sharon.
vision for Sharon
It's
that you're
not-
not getting.
it's
I'm
not what I
sorry.
want.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I do appreciate your visions though. Her classes were year round. They were usually 2 to 3 classes a week, 4 hours each. Students were also expected to attend a weekend retreat once a month.
Was Sharon there?
Yeah.
Oh, I
These
love it.
retreats consisted of building projects on Sharon's other properties. So, like,
She made him work.
Oh, Sharon.
exactly. That's exactly it. It actually said that this was for members to allegedly work on themselves.
Work on yourself
she's
while
so-
building
I love
my
her.
fourth home.
And this was always done under pressure and in unsafe conditions, as these students had no experience with manual labor.
She's like, you're going to learn today, honey.
One of her former students, Spencer Schneider, recalls his time at the Odyssey Group, and he was actually groomed by students of Sharon's at a bar late one night and was invited to take a class. This was a statement regarding Spencer's introduction to Odyssey Group.
Oh, I can't wait.
Schneider was then invited to attend classes he was forbidden to talk about, discussing Russian philosophers who, despite his philosophy degree from Washington University in St. Louis, he had never heard of,
Oh.
as well as ancient oral wisdom dispensed by Sharon, who described herself as almost at the level of Christ and Buddha.
Oh, well, I mean,
He paid a monthly tuition of $300 in cash, which included boxing classes that were supposedly to teach him what it means to be courageous and a hero.
oh, wow. How considerate of Sharon.
Boxing's kind of cool.
It is
Trait
kinda
to
cool.
Learn, you know?
Yeah, but I mean,
Wapa.
it seems like something you could pursue on your own time.
Yeah.
This tuition also included acting classes, fishing trips, parties, and retreats.
Oh, wow. So kind of like a carnival cruise.
But it sounds
Yeah.
kind of nice.
Well, here's the thing. I read somewhere else that allegedly to be in one of her shows, you would have to pay $1,000 to be in it. Which, first of all, like, it is one thing when you're doing theater, like community theater, not professional theater, to have a small dues that you have to pay, but that's like for costume rentals, to maintain the space.
Yeah.
You know, for like different things, not
Yeah, it's like,
for like someone's lavish lifestyle.
yeah, it's like a legitimate place that you're contributing to the
Exactly.
function of this place or theater.
Were any of their shows successful?
No.
Sharon was hands off, baby.
Well, she also was very intrusive.
Oh boy.
She gave Mark, our favorite, unsolicited advice.
Oh no.
Our
We
God.
hate unsolicited advice.
We here.
at
we
Bazaar
fuck-
Buffet hate
toxic.
Yeah, it is very toxic.
unsolicited. Oh well,
Don't-
she's wait till you hear.
Yeah,
what
don't-
she has to
don't-
say.
yeah.
You have a
She's toxic.
podcast. You have a podcast. You know what you should do?
Yeah, but like, you know what you should
what you
do
should
is
do?
produce our fucking
You
podcast
should
and shut
subscribe
up.
to Patreon.
Or you know what
Yes.
my other favorite one is like, this is what you need to do.
Oh, that.
Or this is how you, or you need to do this. No, bitch,
Yeah.
I don't, because
Yeah.
it doesn't work. It might work for you, it doesn't work for me.
Exactly, and you shouldn't be telling people you need to do. Shut up.
Exactly. So
Talk to the hand.
Yeah. Talk to the hand. Face don't give a
God.
damn.
but like she apparently gave unsolicited advice to her students regarding their sex lives.
Oh, creepy.
So one time she ordered a married man in the company to find a young woman to jog with and get oral sex from. Like a happily married man to go out and find a young woman.
to first, under the pretense of a jogging buddy,
To also
then-
get oral sex from.
Wow.
Like,
Bizarre.
wait, like they would jog together and then go behind a tree and she'd give him a blowjob?
I have no idea.
Probably
I mean,
something
maybe
odd.
something like that. But she also told another married woman
Oh boy.
to go to Italy, stand in the famous Trevi Fountain in Rome, and wait for a man and have an affair with him.
Just,
Did she do it?
I don't know.
Imagine if she did and it worked and she found the love of her life.
I mean,
Be a
listen,
beautiful story.
anything can happen.
She was a little cray-cray. She actually arranged marriages among students in the groups. She also even encouraged Spencer, who I spoke about earlier, to impregnate his 19-year-old stepdaughter, which I can happily say he did not take her advice on.
Thank God for
Good
that.
job,
It's
Spencer.
like, good job on that one, Spencer.
Yeah, really.
Who the hell wants to have a baby anyways?
I mean, really.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, thank you.
Sharon actually once told a student that she could marry any man she wanted.
I need to see a picture of her.
and arranged for this woman to marry a man who was also in the company, who was happily married to another woman in the group.
Oh, God.
She likes
To be a homewrecker.
Sharon threw this engagement party and humiliated the wife of the married man in front of the group. Like, she was actually in tears.
Oh, that's terrible. That's not cool.
Sharon.
Sharon, bad. Sharon.
Bad. Shame. Everybody knows your name.
You want to look her up really quick?
I bet she looked like a wildebeest.
Okay, so when you said she looked like the opposite of what I envisioned, that's what I envisioned as the opposite.
Yeah, she looks.
Really?
I was like,
I don't know.
Oh, she looks like a crusty cigarette.
I know.
There's a picture of her though, like when she's young. That's her when she was like young. So she was definitely more put together as like.
For those of you listening, I would just like to describe what Sharon Gans, Gans, looks like. For those of you who have not seen the film The Wrestler, it's a Darren Aronofsky film, but she looks like Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. Do with that what you will.
But as a crusty cigarette.
Yeah, but as
She
a
looks
crusty.
crusty.
Yeah, but specifically.
Very crusty.
Yeah.
So now you can all have a vision of what Sharon Gans looks like.
Yes, and if you want to know my side story about this older actress that I knew once upon a time, who said that she yelled at Marissa Tomei on the set of The Wrestler. It's a great story. She also showed me pictures of her breast. Yeah,
Awesome.
Patreon content.
Yes. So now you have a vision of what Sharon Gans looks like, Mickey Rourke, the wrestler.
Yeah, and this woman had a flip phone.
I'm sure Sharon Gans had one too. So something else that was really a huge issue in the group was child neglect.
Oh,
So
come on.
the children of group members would be left to their own devices in the theater for hours upon hours.
I hate
while
that so much.
Their parents performed manual labor, took classes, and spent endless hours in rehearsals.
And what did these people think they were getting? Did they think that Sharon Gans was going to make them famous actors? Like, come on. God.
You never know.
You never know.
She's, remember, Christ and Buddha in one.
Absolutely.
Students were also encouraged, so like very similar to Scientology and all of these other cults we have talked about and that we all know and love.
Yes.
They were encouraged to dissociate with anyone that was outside of the group.
Suppressive people.
Yes, suppressive people. So
Are
it
you
was
an
very
SP?
much like, it seemed like it was like some weird artist commune that
Yeah.
had like some weird sex shit going on and
Yeah.
manual labor.
Yeah,
and
all for Sharon's horny delights.
all for Sharon's lavish lifestyle in the
Yeah.
Plaza Hotel.
And oh my God, really? Yeah, I can't even imagine how much that costs to live there.
But oh god, I can
You know?
only imagine. But like
Eloise.
for like the 80s, I can imagine it's probably nothing compared to now.
Truly, yeah.
Sharon actually died in January of 2021 due to COVID-related issues.
I knew it. I was going to say COVID.
Oh my God, you're a psychic.
Alex, her husband, has also since passed. I'm not sure if it was before or after her, and I don't know what the cause of that death was. Before she died, she cut her children from her will
Oh, come on.
for allegedly betraying her for whatever that means. Maybe not wanting to be part of the Odyssey group.
No, maybe. Maybe they didn't support her ventures of going to the Trevi Fountain and trying to have sex with a stranger.
And have an affair and go
Yeah.
find a jogger and
Well-
engage in oral sex with.
Kind of reminds me of Mommy Dearest when she like pulled the plug on the will.
Well, that's
On the daughter.
yes.
Yeah, Joan Crawford actually did that, didn't she?
That's
She
right.
like actually
It was
like
like-
took her daughter.
Wait,
She took both her kids out the will, right?
Oh my, she did. She was
But-
like,
I don't know. With Mommy Dearest,
I love her.
I just have to say she is a character I can relate to.
yes,
I get
yeah,
it. She's
Yeah.
a terrible person,
Yeah.
but certain things I get. My favorite scene is when she like freaks out on the little girl, her daughter, to clean the bathroom, and at the end the daughter goes, "Jesus Christ."
I know.
That's another movie that I feel like I need to go back
Oh,
and
you
revisit
got
one of
to.
these days.
Faye Dunaway,
It's
man.
iconic.
Faye Dunaway is really an underrated. Like, she's not
is.
underrated, but she is.
You know what it is? Faye Dunaway has come up with a lot of other successful actresses that can play the same parts as her.
Yeah.
That I think she kind of gets like lost in the sauce.
Totally, totally. And now she looks like Mickey Rourke from The Wrestler as well.
So does Shelley Duvall. We were just looking at pictures of
Shelley
her
Duvall.
earlier.
I know.
We love you, Shelley.
We do.
The school is now called The Study, which is run by 4 members of the cult and are currently in a lawsuit filed by 2 former members who state that they provided slave labor to Sharon.
Oh, boy. Well,
That's what it was.
I mean, here's my hot take on it. You joined. That's it. You joined.
One more thing that I'd like to put out there. Spencer Schneider, who I spoke about before, has also since released a book
Oh.
called Manhattan Cult Story, My Unbelievable True Story of Sex, Crimes, Chaos, and Survival.
And Sharon Gans.
If I remember correctly, Spencer actually is also a product of an arranged marriage within the group.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I wonder if he's still married.
So, but the basis of this was all like acting.
It was all
Like
acting.
theater
that she was
classes.
essentially going to make them famous.
was going to make them famous.
Wow.
And like that was the other thing too, like you had to constantly be taking classes. I think the thing that was like really fascinating about this to me is that the fact that like people actually believe this shit.
Yeah.
And just me as myself, like getting older in my days and like reflecting a lot recently, like I've been exposed to different types of cults in my lifetime and like have had experiences like that, and I'm sure other people have too, that it's like very easy to kind of get like suckered into it without knowing that you're getting suckered into it until it's too late.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all want to have hope, right?
Right.
Hope and dreams, aspirations are common. And, we all want to believe in something. And sometimes it's easier than other times to be persuaded, But this might help you to avoid these people like Sharon Gans, Mickey Rourke.
What I'm curious about with this whole thing is it's kind of like a storefront. They're saying it's acting classes,
Right.
but it's a cult. It's her funneling money for her own needs.
Yeah.
But I just wonder, like, is there anyone that walked out of it and actually got something out of it? And they were like, you know what? It was a cult, but I learned this in acting school.
Yeah, like what if Angelina
Exactly.
Jolie was part
Or
of
if
it?
someone left very successful.
Yeah.
So, like your last episode, Mark, like I had very little information on this.
Yeah.
Like maybe 2 articles
Yeah.
surfaced regarding this.
One of them being about the lawsuit, probably.
One of them being about the lawsuit, and the other one kind of was more around Spencer Schneider's experience within the cult. Because I think that this is a topic that is like starting to come to surface recently.
Heard it here first.
So yeah, like you're probably hearing it first from here.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see kind of where the now formerly known as the Odyssey Group, now called The Study, winds up.
I love how these cults, though, have these names like, first of all, the Odyssey Group, The Study. Like, it just sounds like a cult.
Or like, what's The Family?
You got me at Odyssey Group.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I'm for it.
I'm curious.
I would attend just
Yeah.
to see it.
I would
I would
attend
too.
if it was free. If it was a
Same.
free,
Yeah, if it was
like
free.
intro.
Yeah. Which, knowing Sharon, should be like $500.
And like knowing me, I'd be sitting in the back like, this is a crock of bullshit.
Yes, but we would still be interested to sit there and to hear, like, I want an e-meter reading. I do. If the Church of Scientology in New York City was doing it, I can't tell you that I wouldn't sit down with those soup cans and put my hands all up on them. I'd be like, tell
You
me.
can do it and then come back and tell us.
I will. I also want to be hypnotized for the podcast. Jen and I were talking,
talking about that,
when I
getting
was doing her hair.
hypnotized.
Yeah, and I said that I would volunteer to be hypnotized on the podcast.
I would too. I would just be afraid I would like pee myself.
Well, I would.
Because I feel like your body does like weird things.
They do weird things.
What if I peed?
So if you want one of us to be hypnotized live,
let us know.
let us know on Instagram and Facebook.
At Bizarre Buffet.
Yes. bizarrebuffet.fucking.com with the fucking in the .com.
BizarreBuffet.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also have a YouTube channel, so if you're
do.
listening to us, you can
Hi.
watch us.
Hi, can you
Hi.
see me right
guys.
now?
Hey, I'm
Can
doing a
you
little
see me? Oh.
queen hand wave for you.
Hi.
Cup the hand. But if you're watching us, we are also a podcast, so you can listen to us on any podcast
You sure
platform.
can, baby.
Do you
And
hear us
then-
through your speakers?
If you're feeling, generous and you want to make it rain money, we have a Patreon.
Patreon.com.
We have a Patreon, and $3 a month gets you a handmade Bizarre Buffet pin.
Designed by Mark Torriello himself.
Designed.
That's
I mean,
right. That's right.
And if you're like, into me, I'll kiss it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mark will also send you a picture of his feet.
I'll
Yeah,
send you I have
sure.
beautiful feet.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of my asshole.
And $3 a month also
And I'll
gets
send the
you.
picture of my hand.
There you go. Beautiful.
We're into hand modeling.
Yeah.
But $3 a month will also get you unlimited access to unseen
Oh, unseen content.
Unseen content.
You've listened to us. You can only imagine the
bloopers,
things that we have
early
to cut out.
access, and
Oh
then
my goodness. You know
$10
people that you do not want to take to a family function.
Oh, absolutely not. Jen and I were laughing at a funeral once. Trust me, it's true.
Absolutely, yep.
And $10 a month gets you all that good shit, and you get blindfolded drawings of your choice from
Jerry
the
and
three of
I were
us.
laughing in the middle of putting his dog down. Like, we're the wrong people to
Exactly.
say
We are the wrong people to take to any serious event. Anything.
And $10 a month also gets you a video shout out.
Yeah, it does.
What's your name? Tim, Bob, Camille?
What do you want?
Tennille.
We'll do it blindfolded for you.
Yeah, anything.
That money helps us produce content, keeps our
Yeah.
website going. It's not going into.
Just so you can continue to see our horny little faces.
Absolutely. It's so horny for Bizarre Buffet, aren't you? I am. Oh. Anyway.
So I'm done plugging.
You're a butt plug.
I'm like, business.
Your business. Well, that's okay. With that being said, my name is Sharon Gans.
And I am her penthouse at the Plaza Hotel.
I love my penthouse so much.
I keep you nice and warm.
You do. It's beautiful
And keep
as
you
well.
safe. I give you shelter.
You do. From the elements.
And I'm Tilda Swinton from the remake of Suspiria.
Wow. Oh, my
my
God.
God.
I hope she's at the plaza.
Yes.
Wow.
Tilda Swinton.